Yes, you read that right. This is not clickbait. He had vocal cord paralysis, UVFP, unilateral vocal fold paralysis. Your vocal cords or your vocal folds are like this. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jim Chandler, a professional singer for over 30 years. I'll put some clips here of me. So this is a follow-up to my Bon Jovi. I'll put a link up to it. I feel a little bit like a nincompoop. I want to correct what I did last week. I was really thinking about Bon Jovi's situation in terms of my situation because I had a really, really nasty bout with COVID. A week before that video that I put out, he had an interview with Pollster.
I had major reconstructive surgery in my vocal cords, something called a medialization, because one of my cords was literally atrophying. Because both of your cords are supposed to look like this. One of mine was like this, and the strong one was literally taking what was left of the weak one. So they put a plastic implant in it for the last almost 2 years now. I've been in this rehab, getting it back together, but I'm getting very close. Friday night was my first live performance in 2 years.
He had surgery, it was called a medialization, and he had an implant 2 years ago. He had it from atrophy. So I want to address all those points. Vocal fold atrophy, maybe because he wasn't using it. I don't know.
Say when.
Your vocal folds are like this, like that. An anterior, posterior, which is the back, like your posterior. That's your posterior. My mom used to call me a posterior or something when I was being a jackass. So he talked about how one of them was not working. One side stuck there, the other one's working, but if it doesn't come together, it's not going to work. So I suppose I should do them like this, but that means F off in UK and Ireland, so I didn't want to do that. But I'm going to do it for now. There are two types of medialization. One, they can do an injection.
The needle through the laryngoscope. Select the location for the injection and insert the needle. Repeat additional unilateral and/or contralateral injections as needed.
The implant is weird because they make it out of silicone. They carve it themselves and stick it in. I thought that was kind of weird. They have to make an incision right here. There's another procedure which you can get. Is called a Reinnervation, which means they take a nerve from somewhere else, because generally what happens, the reason why your vocal cords, one of them will be paralyzed, is nerve damage. Now this can happen from a various amount of ways, but I think surgery is the most common cause. I think it's 60 to 80% or something. Then you have other things. You have viruses or something like that. Trauma and loads of different things can cause the nerve damage, which will lead to paralysis. So he said he's been recovering from that. Now I watched a couple of other videos, which I'm going to share down below. I'm going to put a little bit of clip here where this one lady, her voice was amazingly better.
I'm doing a before and after surgery. I'm going to have a medialization thyroplasty with arytenoid adduction today, actually. I am back and I'm here to do my after video after the surgery. As you can tell, my voice is amazing. It is much better. It sounds like me now. Even a week after the surgery, this is about 2.5 weeks after the surgery, I can talk, which is huge.
And then she did a follow-up 3 years later.
Hi, it's been 3 years ago today since I've had my thyroplasty. I can sing. If I sing too much, then I think it works the good vocal cord too hard, and then it's a little bit of a problem. But I mean, as far as just, I can just feel like that vocal cord's getting tired.
If you'd go and give that video a like, I'm sure she'd appreciate that, because she didn't see anybody do any before and after, which I'll put links to all these things down below, and even some of the papers written on them, because to be honest, when this came up, it was like a week after I had done the video saying, will he fix it? I wasn't really clear on what the reason was, but it was because he had UVFP, unilateral vocal fold paralysis. That explains a lot, but then the fact that he said 2 nights before this was his first live performance in 2 years, and I was like, what? I was like, a couple of things didn't make sense. He had this 2 years ago, and he hadn't done a performance in 2 years. So I was like, what? Because I had seen things that were like, live performances they said they were 2023, but when you look into it, it's not. They were 2022, which was probably right before he had the surgery. So, but I started going down this rat hole, and that's why, it's like, the crazy guy that can't sleep for 3 days because I'm researching this, going, that doesn't make sense. What he's saying there doesn't comport with the other thing and what Rockfeed's saying and all this stuff. So, then I wanted to learn about medialization, just what it was and how big of a surgery and what the kind of, prognosis, because I think Rockfeed was saying that's, he said if he can't sing the way he was before, he would quit, and is his career over or not? And there was all this. I was just like, what the hell, man? I got to put some sense on this. So I started diving down the rat hole, and I haven't stopped looking at my phone, researching this stuff, because when I start to look at something, when something doesn't make sense, I have to go and research it, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Safe and effective did not make sense when people were dying from the thing. And I was like, how safe and effective is something that people are dying from? Anyway, enough about that. Go do your own research on that. There's plenty of it. Dr. John Campbell would be a good place to start. You can find him here on the YouTubes. But so I go down whatever kind of rat hole or rabbit hole or whatever, to try and get to the bottom of something. I like to know everything about something, which is why when I was going to, anyway, look, that's it for today. Rock your best vocals with your best keeps getting better. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you on the next one. Bye. I gotta go. The battery's dying. Love you. Bye. Maybe over here. Dang.